The big news, there is really a lot of it. This was a rough day for injuries. Breece Hall left in the second quarter with a knee injury. It could be a bad one. It could be a season ender.
They are talking like it's a torn ACL.
Yeah. Michael Carter is 62% rostered. Spend all your fab if he's available?
No.
Maybe.
Would you rather have Carter or Gus? Because I think you can make the case for. I think you can make a case for Gus. You can make a case for Carter too, I suppose. But what is this offense without Breece Hall? Do you really think Michael Carter is going to go in there and do what Breece Hall's been doing?
No, nobody said that.
No, but you're talking about spending all your fab on somebody.
I spent all my
last time we had the spend all your fab discussion. It was for Kenneth Walker. Yeah. That worked out. I don't think this is going to work out.
I spent all my fab for Jimmy G in a 2 QB league. I was pretty happy with it today.
You should be. That's great. And you know what? I think he's got some staying power as McCaffrey starts to play more and more.
Yeah. Now, Carter, he had 3 games last year where he was getting a big workload. He had 13 to 16 carries in those 3 games, and he scored 32 PPR points, 9.6 PPR points, and 18.2 PPR points. He had 9, 1, and 4 catches in those 3 games. So he had a little bit, then he got hurt. A little bit of a sample of him being a feature back. Look, if he's not a spend all your fab, he's obviously a must add, and we'll talk about it on the waiver wire show, but excuse me. Tough one there for Breece Hall. And really, I think if you have him in Dynasty, you just have to hope that if it is an ACL injury, that it's only an ACL injury, because I think we're learning multiple ligaments or multiple injuries, like what Gus Edwards had. He had 2 ligaments and a hamstring.
Dobbins.
Yeah, exactly. Longer recovery, rougher road. Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown left with a concussion in the first quarter, and really shocked that Josh Reynolds had such a quiet game.
He obviously wasn't right. Like, he didn't practice most of the week. Goff wasn't even looking at him.
Mike Williams left with an injury late. They have their bye week. We don't have any word on that, but let's hope it's something he can recover from.
It did not look good, but maybe a bye week will be enough.
And Dave, you have a snap count on Keenan Allen, because he barely played, right? I mean, he wasn't on the field much in this game.
Give me 60 seconds.
All right, the quick. Russell Wilson could play next week. Go ahead, Heath.
Yeah, he. I think we did see that the entirety of the Denver offensive problems are not Russell Wilson.
Yeah. All right, so Wilson could play next week. He's trending in the right direction. They're in London facing the Jaguars. DK Metcalf was carted off the field in the second quarter with a knee injury.
He was smiling when it was happening.
He said to his teammate on the sideline as he was riding the cart, "I'm okay."
Yeah. So we'll check on that, of course. DK Metcalf, good game for Geno Smith in IRL, but in fantasy, he only scored 15 or 16 points, only threw 27 passes. TJ Hawkinson left in the third quarter. David Njoku left with an ankle injury, and the backup tight end, Farrell Brown, left with a neck injury. Njoku says he's okay. They're hoping that he can get back there pretty soon. They have the Bengals, then a bye. Ryan Tannehill left. He came back, but he was limping. He's got an ankle injury, and I would say his status for Week 8 is a little uncertain right now. Ryan Tannehill at Houston next week. PJ Walker is expected to start again next week. Chuba Hubbard left late with an ankle injury. He came through. Both of those guys came through for you, Foreman and Hubbard. Pretty cool. Alan Lazard left with a shoulder injury. Not cool. They have Buffalo on. You think they're going to beat Buffalo on the road next week? Corey Davis may have sprained his MCL. Denzel Mims left in the fourth quarter, and Garrett Wilson still couldn't get anything going here. Mike Boone left with an injury. He played about a half of the game. Nico Collins left with a groin injury. And Josh Jacobs has scored more than 30 PPR fantasy points in 3 straight games. Austin Eckler, I think, has scored more than 24 points in 4 straight games.
Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor rest of the season?
See, like in the trade chart, I would think that you're still going to get a lot for Taylor. But how can people ignore what Jacobs is doing? He's been phenomenal.
Now, one good thing for Taylor, though, is the way they're playing offense right now. I mean, he had, 7 catches today? They're very short area throws. Running backs have been getting a lot of targets. Look what we saw from Deion Jackson last week. So what's your answer, Heath? What's your answer, Dave? Jacobs or Taylor?
If somebody offered me Jonathan Taylor for Josh Jacobs, I don't believe I would take it. I do not think I'd make the trade either way.
let's see. He's got the Saints, Jaguars, Colts. Really doesn't have a lot of tough matchups the rest of the way. Like the Rams, the
Who is
49ers
this,
in week
or
17.
Jacobs?
This is Jacobs.
You said the Colts. I was like, I hope he's talking about Jacobs.
Well, obviously, Jonathan Taylor can't play the Colts. He's not going to.
Some people might say that Taylor's playing against the Colts offense right now.
Sure. I mean, the people who have Josh Jacobs and the people who pay attention to everything around the league, they know how good he's been. But people who don't have Jacobs on their fantasy team and they don't pay attention, they don't see it. They don't recognize it, but they should. He's been amazing. Can he? If he does this he's not going to do this every.
I don't think you gave an answer.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've got one. I don't have to answer it.
It's your job, sir.
No, I don't have to answer right now. But I've got your Keenan Allen stats.
Okay.
Get your barf bag ready. He played 1/3 of the snaps. He had a 3.9% target share, 2 targets, caught both of them. Good for him. 11 yards. One of the targets was in the red zone. Yippee. So really a get your feet wet game as they go into their bye.
He was started in 31% of leagues.